So, Action Zone. What is
Action Zone!
Action Zone.
Action.
I like how Beyond did it first. It's like, Action Zone!
What is it? It's the Action Zone!
And then just like a big explosion. Just
Right, yeah. A Michael Bay explosion, and then some awesome 80s like shred metal comes in.
yeah,
Action
perfect.
Zone!
Welcome back, everybody, to LunaWood. I guess it's not technically episode 4; it's episode 3.2.
I did it. 3.2 and a half.
3B. I'm going to be different. 3B.
3B. Go right ahead.
Sure.
Anyway, you heard my compatriots. I'm Hardpunkkore. I built all this. These are my buddies.
Hey, I'm Beyondyou. You know me from Twitch and YouTube.
And my name is Shadow Phoenix, also from Twitch and YouTube as well, though admittedly more YouTube than anything now. So,
HB, this is your, as you said at the last episode, this is your go at a complete 80s area, I guess.
Yeah, like I said in the last episode, it's Boardwalk inspired. I live on the Jersey Shore. No, it's not like that stupid ass TV show.
So I mean, are we in
Hashtag.
Planet Coaster or are we in Radical Heights? Because I'm definitely getting an 80s vibe here.
Right, nice.
Yeah, so my take on the 80s was, like I said, basically there was a lot of Boardwalk inspired buildings. I have miles and miles and miles upon boardwalks. You got the Asbury Park Boardwalk, the Point Pleasant Boardwalk, the Seaside Boardwalk, Wildwood, Atlantic City, Ocean City, all these boardwalks.
Nice.
So I didn't even have to look at pictures. I did, but I didn't have to. I had everything up in the memory bank already.
Yeah, sounds like this was your childhood, basically, what you were recreating.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, there's no ocean, there's no sand, there's no beach. It was inspired by that stuff. So
Right.
When I think
and
of
I
Boardwalk, I think of two places. I think of Santa Cruz in California, and then I think of Coney Island. That's the other one.
Nice.
see, now I live in New Jersey. You would think this. You wouldn't think this. I've been to the Santa Cruz Boardwalk. I've never been to Coney Island.
How does that happen?
Really? Yeah.
I lived in California for 3 years. I lived in Fresno for 1 year and Monterey for the other 2. And Monterey is like an hour away from Santa Cruz.
Wow. How far away are you from Coney Island now, give or take?
Probably it's because Coney Island is up by I think it's the end of Queens. I think it's probably like a 2 or 3 hour train ride, maybe, from where I
so
am.
you'd have to take a day to go out there.
Yeah, it's definitely a day trip. It's not. Yeah, it's definitely a day trip.
I would have thought it would be quicker. I just thought you'd hop on a subway and be up there in like no time.
If I was in New York City, yeah.
Doesn't New Jersey and New York kind of run right together though? I mean,
Northern Jersey, yeah. I'm like an hour away by car from the city. I don't know how far Coney Island is because I've never been there from the city, but I know it's the far end of. I think it's the far end of Queens. I'm sure if I'm wrong, I'm going to be corrected in the chat. So
damn right.
All right, so let's talk about the sign that you got here.
It's pretty sweet, huh?
This is an
Definitely.
awesome sign. This is some Top Gun feels.
That's exactly what I was thinking was Top Gun. I mean, you got the lines coming into the lettering from each side, and I just love that.
It's so cool.
The way that I started this sign was, it was weird. I had the A was actually reversed, where the flat part was to the left, and it looked weird with so much space in between the A and the C. but you can't tell until action was already written out. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? And then I had zone written out, and the bottom part for the E stuck out a little bit. And I was like, wait a second. And then I flipped the A around, and it just kind of came together.
That's so cool. And then what did you use? These are just...
They're just all... I didn't use anybody's font. It's just... there was a flat rectangle.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
just a flat rectangle. The letters are made with the smallest half circle that are
nice.
flat side facing us.
I absolutely love this. This is it's so amazing. I love the font. I'm a graphic design guy. I love the font.
I didn't even intend for it to be boxy. It's just the kind of way that it came out. But looking back at it, it's totally 80s.
Oh yeah,
totally 80s.
I'm getting that Nintendo, box art or like an Atari type of like logo for a game. It's just like
yeah.
oh my god, so great.
So great, so good. Oh my god.
All right, so last episode.
You want to go in?
Well, that's what I was going to say. So last episode, I kind of directed you guys where to go to hide some stuff. Now, this is the big reveal once we get under the sign. Why don't we just balls to the wall? You guys go where you guys want to go, and I'll answer any questions and talk about as we go. So you guys lead this one.
I'm going to go under the sign and enter the area and just like, whoa. Because I have not seen any of this. And I'm not going to talk ahead of time, but something I see over there is something I had a thought about and never even mentioned it. I'm not even joking. Not even joking. And if you did what you did, that's going to be really cool, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But that's over by the Boomerang.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you well, when we get there, you can say what you're going to say.
Right. Wow. This is.
Look at this. Look at this. This is just like there's another little plaza with just stuff plopped in it. It's perfect.
It looks like I just entered into like a fair, basically, which is perfect. All right.
That's exactly what I was going for. Boardwalk fair.
And it's almost like it's jarring in a good way between like it's like a whole other park inside of this park, like
and that's
really
what I remember. That's what I said to you because you were like, "Oh, how are you going to transition from going from like the wooded areas to the action zone?" And I was like, "That is a tough question, or that's a tough assignment." And I was like, "What if I do a park inside of a park?"
Right.
That's what I did. It's
almost like your transition is that there literally is no transition. Here, go.
It's great. I mean, it's literally like I just stepped out of the park and into the parking lot where the fair is going on now. So
yes, yeah, and that like I mean, I know we've kind of talked about you could say that there was like some classic attraction here, that had been in the park for like 40 years or something. And then, the corporate whatever came through and was like, get rid of it and put in a billion rides, just put down a bunch of tarmac, put in a Boomerang real quick, they just threw in so many cheap little rides and like, it's just cheap, everywhere.
That's exactly what you said the last episode. No, we need money. Throw in a Boomerang and slap down some cement.
The Cosmic Cow. I love the neon. Here. Oh.
Let's start at the Matterhorn here. We'll start at the Matterhorn.
Wait, the Cosmic Cow is to the left of the Matterhorn.
Yes.
Oh, it
You're
is.
missing it. It's right in the corner.
I didn't see it.
I know. I didn't see it either until I just kind of like turned and I was like, "What's this over here?" Because that neon got my attention. That hot pink and hot blue.
Right. So so you have
the colors match the signs, and you'll see that theme throughout the entire area, where every area is lit up, and the colors either match the sign or they are opposite on the color wheel from the colors on the sign.
Everything is just like, I feel like you could see this part of the park from space, like from the Hubble telescope. It would just be this bright little dot, just like a fairground. I know we're going to keep saying it, but that literally just feels like your mall, fairgrounds just slapped down.
You imagine the electric bill on this place.
Seriously, just the spinning in circles.
All right, so the Matterhorn here looks like the sign kind of looks like a little bit like what I did with Wild Spin in Crystal Gardens. A little bit like that.
That's where I got the idea from. But at my home boardwalk, the Point Pleasant boardwalk, they have a Himalaya, and I know everybody's like, oh, the roof is too big. The roof is too big. If you look at certain ones in Google Earth, you'll see like the roof is actually that big. It's not out of scale. They're really that big, and the one that we have is called the Himalaya, but they're more commonly named the Matterhorn.
Well, I personally, like, I know everybody raised hell when Frontier showed off this ride, and I was like, oh, can we take the roof off? Can we take the roof off? And I get it, because, you know, I use the Monte Leon over this thing, but I love the roof on this personally.
And I do too.
I do think, though, I mean, I know you guys don't agree with me. I do think it is too tall, though. Like, I think it's the angle, I think, is what it is, where it goes up really tall like that. I think if it was just slightly lower, it would still be fine. But
I feel like the ones that I always rode, though, like at fairgrounds that came to the malls and stuff, they were always like this big. Maybe it was just because I was like a little kid, but like I always feel like they were like just gargantuan over top of the ride like this. So like I really genuinely understand everyone's complaints when they saw it, because I was like, well, this looks exactly like the ride does. I don't understand what you're all
I kind of had that same thought. And then if you look at it, it's also a ride skin too, because that piece in the middle is not there. I put that there.
I love this.
Nice little touches.
And we'll have to come back to this ride at night, because there's
I can't wait for nighttime.
There's some cool triggered lights that happen behind there too.
Awesome.
This is something you talked about this a little bit, or not actually a little bit. You talked about it a lot, because it was something you worked on quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I did something. One of the first things I did with this ride when I first got my hands on it was kind of what you did here, but not to this degree. This is brilliant. I just put some walls up, and then I used the drapes that we have in the game to kind of make these curtain type areas that we're talking about. You took this to a whole nother level with the stars and the little wing thingies that light up and the LEDs.
It's perfect though. Like, honestly, when I first looked at this, I knew this is like your piece festive pack or whatever. But part of me was like, are those actually part of like the ride skin that like from in game though? Was that always like that? Like I had to like think and be like, oh no, you actually added those. That's fantastic.
Yeah, because sometimes some of them, depending on where you go to find the ride, some of them it is just a curtain, but there are other ones where it's a whole, it's part of the ride, and there's lights that light up and designs on them. Like the Himalaya has, like pictures of the Alps on it and stuff. But I've seen other ones online where it's just got stars and colors, and that's basically what I emulated.
I love it.
I'm looking back down the boardwalk right before the building that we're going to talk about, and just looking back out towards like the rest of LunaWood, I just can't get over how much this whole area looks nothing like LunaWood the park. It's just like completely separate from everything else, and it's so good.
That's what I was going for, so I guess it's accomplished.
You freaking nailed it, dude.
This is great.
Just notice the queue here. It's nice and simple. This brick and a really overly bright yellow. I mean, that's perfect with this nice facade.
Like I said, all the colors come from the ride, so.
That's perfect. And I love this, like, it's almost like obviously looking at the building to the right of the. It literally looks like it's held up with stilts in like the background of it, like they just threw it up real quick. So
that's what I literally am looking around it right now. Like, is this the whole building or is this just the front facade? And I'm like, it's got sides. Does it? Then I go to the roof and it's like, yes, it's a whole building. So I'm not sure the use of the building, but it is a whole building.
Yeah, you know what? It's maybe that's payroll. Maybe that's HR.
Storage or something, maybe for
storage.
Who knows? We'll figure that out as we go.
Right. And this Gulpy here is super subtle, but it's so good. Right.
the roundness to it. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, that really.
And it's like, unless you're really looking, like the top of it's kind of like curved, and then you go to the back of it, it's like, oh no, now it's not. It's a perfect facade. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. It looks like cotton candy in a building. So
Bubble
that's my
gum.
best description. Bubblegum, yeah, absolutely. And the building to the right of it, starting with the green building with the gulpy and then this smaller pinkish purplish building, it just reminds me of like a Fantasyland Disney knockoff or something like that. Like just a cheaper version of a brightly colored Disney like kind of area. But I don't know. It just I don't know what kind of vibe I'm getting, but it's great. I love this little area. It's so cheeky.
All right, then we got the Boomerang, and yes, it is the same theming that I was thinking. All right, so I was thinking about doing a Boomerang themed around a scorpion, and I'll be damned if you didn't do it here. With
Awesome.
the tail and all.
That's so great. The sign up front scorpion, and then the tail and everything. This is freaking brilliant. I love this.
Well, remember you had the demon recreation, and Mass Bandit made the sign for you.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely get some vibes from that.
I paused your video and I took the screen to still, and that's what I used I kind of dissected it and see how he made it, and I tried to recreate it. It's like I said, it's a different type of font than what the demon is, but it's still like this is a little bit more like 80s kind of bubble letters.
Yeah, it definitely has. and true to the demon, since you recreated that, it's good because they haven't. It's like the ride opened in the 70s, so it's spot on.
So you really were gonna do a scorpion?
Yeah, mine was gonna be a little more modern, I guess. Like I was gonna do a sign that kind of goes over top of the path, and I was gonna take we have those in-game scorpions, and one of them is kind of not large, but it's bigger than an actual scorpion. And I was gonna put it like on the sign, like kind of like a 3D scorpion kind of thing over top of the path, and it's kind of. Yeah, I was totally gonna do that at some point. I just didn't know a park to do it in. So,
Hold on. We have in-game scorpions?
We do.
Yeah, from the adventure pack.
I didn't even know that they existed.
Yep, adventure pack, but you couldn't recolor them or anything. Probably animatronics, so.
Oh.
You can stop the animatronics on it, can't you? Though, like stop it from static. So I was gonna do like a sign that said scorpion.
I'll be damned. I will be damned. There they are. How do I make a ride and I didn't even put one of them there?
Oh, frick. It was in the game the whole time.
But yeah, I was totally thinking that, and here we are. I mean, as soon as I stepped under the gates and I saw the tail, and I was like, no way.
Awesome.
Because it's so perfect for a boomerang, like scorpion boomerang.
It
just makes me think it, It's very parkish. All right, the station.
Yeah, I love the station. It's got for me, a vertical velocity feel from Great America.
Yeah, funny you say that because that's actually what I used. Well, it's not vertical velocity, but it's I think it's Impulse from Dorney Park, which is the same ride.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they all kind of have that similar structure kind of station typically. I think what's it called at Cedar Point? The one that does Twisted Colossus, or not Twisted Colossus? Twisted.
Wicked Twister.
Yeah, I think they have the same kind of station for this as well. So
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot. Especially the interior. It's just like so much metal going on and all asymmetry and stuff. It's very nice. It's very good.
This station for this ride is more metal than Ozzy Osbourne.
Boom, the gauntlet has been thrown down. So awesome. And this queue line looks so uncomfortable because there's no shade from the sun at all. And it's so long too. Holy cow.
Oh my god. I feel like it was like Pac-Man in this thing.
You know what? It's actually funny that you say that because when I opened up the park to guests and I had the 2,500 guests, the queue line was full, but it was still only a 30-minute wait somehow.
Interesting.
I wanted
capacity.
Yeah, I wanted to throw covers down, but I didn't get to because I didn't have time. You'll see when we get to the next ride that I had created covers, and I was going to put them everywhere, but I decided not to here because I didn't have time, and number two, I didn't want to take away any sight lines.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So-
Got a little gift shop.
I do with an
Shirts.
interior.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Shirts and-
interiors.
In case you
It's,
want a giant bow on top of your head, I guess.
Oh, I like this.
The
I like
bow
when
is
you come
supposed to
in.
be another shirt.
I like how you rigged up a pulley or drop down system for the door, or like the garage door here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on both sides.
Yeah, that's a good touch. The security
Neat.
camera. Yeah, I like this.
Posters.
I like that
Newspapers.
the archway, and putting the shelves inside the archway like that.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's.
cool.
Cool. I'm just
Yeah,
like-
I saw that. That's not from the workshop, but I saw it on the workshop, and I was like, I bet I can do that different, but then
Yeah.
similar.
Voted up
Oh, awesome.
T-shirts. Gift boxes, I'm guessing, with stuff in them, and that's why.
Yeah, I did the boxes underneath. Some of those boxes, like the boxes near the Gulpy sign, are gigantic. I didn't realize how big they were. They're like half the size of a guest person.
Dictionaries. I mean, you know,
Uh,
I don't usually
books.
grab dictionaries when I go to a theme park, but I mean, you know.
I would think maybe they're binders that you can put pictures in. Maybe
Photo album
they're
things. Yeah,
they're
okay.
books on the park history. They're maybe books about Vekoma rides or B&M rides or whatever.
Always got to suspend our belief in this game.
Yeah, you got to make do with what you got.
And then so we named it the Scorpion's Tail Gift Shopee. Shopee.
I noticed that Great Adventure, a lot of like the candy shops, they're spelled like that.
I know. I actually don't know why it's spelled like that. Someone in the comments will probably
It's
tell us.
I think that's how it's spelled in Europe. Like they spell it with a PE on the end.
Oh,
I think.
fancy.
Not being from Europe, I don't know, but that's what I've always understood. I'm just like I just kind of went with it. It's kind of like how theater is spelled two different ways. So
Right. And something I love to the right, we might continue this, but I'd like to think that in the more modern areas of the park, they wouldn't really put these because like a lot of parks are kind of discouraging smoking inside the parks now anyway. So
Yeah,
oh,
I
smoking
kind of
area. Okay.
yeah, that's nice.
yeah, and the sign from the hot dog squad neon sign can rot your brain too.
Oh yeah, just burn my retinas out there.
I think the smoking area line should be moved back almost right up against the bench.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you get that
like-
itty bitty area.
Like put them in a corner. Just get over there. And it's just like they keep moving it further and further and further back.
Yeah,
Yeah, originally I had it corner to corner. I had it
Uh-huh.
where if you're looking at it and where it starts on the left, I had it there from that corner to the corner of the hot dog squad building. And I was like, that doesn't look right because the line wasn't symmetric. It's now it runs parallel with the fence, so that's why it is where it is.
Fantastic.
nice. And then we have another little food plaza area. There it
Bathrooms.
is. Some bathrooms, which is funny. Everyone is like, acting like they have to go to the bathroom here. And I'm like, there's restrooms right here. I think it's because they're standing in line for the Boomerang for so long. But then
Are these fountains?
fountains. Love the restrooms. And then Gulpy. Very nice. Yeah, this whole area. It's very nice to look. God,
Hey,
I keep
Shadow.
walking on top
Yeah.
of the
Do you remember there was that building that I asked you to show me when you were in Crystal Gardens that had the roof that kind of peered out over
Oh
the
yeah, I see it. The Gopi
Yep.
shop. Yeah.
both of them
Oh, yeah, you did triple
and the
neon.
hot dog squad.
Oh, is it? Is it that one too? Oh, it is, isn't it? And you did triple neon. And it looks like your neon on the edges of the roof is thinner than what I used. I wonder if we used different stuff.
I used the panels.
Panels.
light up
Then,
panels.
then yeah, because I used a sign. I used the edge of a sign to do mine, and you used panels.
Yeah.
So the panels are obviously thinner, and therefore
Yep.
you were able to get the 3 in there. Ah.
I'll tell you what, that was a pain in the butt to line up.
Yeah, it was.
But I got it.
It looks so
Totally
cool.
was.
I love that green highlight on the Gulpy. That's sick looking. So
I think I see now in between those buildings, maybe we need to put a fence in there, but
All right, and
Cool.
okay, so the zipper, or what do you call it here? You call it the
It's
zipper.
zipper.
All right, all right. I like the little
building
umbrellas
behind it.
over the queue.
Oh,
Yeah, what's the building behind its inspiration and everything? You just wanted to put that back for like a facade behind it?
yeah, just because I didn't want it to be bare.
Sure.
You know, like obviously the coaster is the backdrop over there. The Matterhorn has a backdrop of its own. I didn't want this one not to have a backdrop, so
Mhm.
just kind of put a building in there. You know, it's not a facade; it's an actual building. You know, there's a back to it. There's doors. You know, I think there's some backstage to it. I can't remember. So I mean, we could just say that, like I said, maybe one's an HR building, one's a payroll building. You know, one is like in a building that handles like the social media and their internet relations or whatever. I don't know. And the people hate themselves for taking those jobs because they got to listen to the music of the rides and
So the people who work in this building, right?
Hey, Bob, can we get some soundproofing in here, please?
Yeah, right. We need better insulation.
Sorry, it's not in the budget.
Awesome. And yeah, you were talking about the queue a little bit. I really like this queue. I've seen this different areas, this kind of design in like real life parks, and I just think it's it's so simple, but it works very effectively.
Yep.
Yeah, those triangles I stole from Cedar Point has them as queue covers. If you're, I think it's for
Every
what's
coaster,
the
maybe? I think
maybe
I've
it's
seen
every
it.
coaster.
Yeah, I think I've seen it multiple times in like a bunch of not just Cedar Point, but I think a lot of the Cedar
Oh
Point.
yeah.
So I kind of did it like that. That was the inspiration for it. And
There's probably like a company that sells these, and they just don't get it from this one
And-
company.
and for this is doubled up on itself, but there's one in the junkyard in the back. So if you want to reuse it, you can reuse it.
Okay,
Cool.
sounds like a good idea.
And I think the
Just
last,
just recolor it, which is easy. Well, there's a couple things still.
Oh
There's
yeah,
two
there's still more
more.
here. There's so much
There's
stuff here.
Yeah.
Continuing
the
around.
arcade.
Let's check out the arcade. Lucky's Arcade. Win prizes, skee ball, games, photos, fun. I can buy fun in here? All right, I'm not even going to talk about the arcades because
The arcades are yours.
That's right. So I'm not going to talk about it. I want to see stuff that's not mine. I saw you post this on Discord. The air hockey table, not the air hockey. The shoot.
Foosball.
Foosball. Yes,
Foosball.
yes. I like it.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Now let me get the foosball table I got off the workshop from Brocket Man. So, yeah.
Man.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Ooh, we got a claw machine behind that. Ooh.
Yeah, everything that I got from Discord I modified slightly because there were certain things that were either out of scale or just didn't look right or whatever.
Awesome. The skee ball's so good too.
Skee ball machines. Are these fishermen's skee balls?
No, the ski balls are rubles. I just deleted the whole
Rubles.
building,
Oh,
was
Oh,
around
nice. Okay.
and I doubled them up because I think his were only like 7 or 8, and I doubled them up so they would fit where I want them to fit.
This is my favorite one, though, is the dance. Like,
DDR.
yeah, that's so
the
funny.
Dance Revolution was made by Butts, Butts. That's it. That's his name.
Okay.
Butts.
Mhm.
Thanks,
Uh,
Butts.
Like I said, the skee ball machines were made by Ruble Trillions. You guys all know him. Oh wait, my camera froze. There we go. Dance Revolution was made by Butts. Let's see.
I saw
The
this
clo-
when I was doing the Shy Guys World stuff, and I was building my arcade machines. Um, I was looking through some of the arcades and stuff on this, and I saw this, and I wanted to put this in my arcade, and I just didn't have space for it. So um, it's really good. Like
It's the there's a few different Dance Revolution games on the workshop. I thought this one was the best.
it looks really good.
The claw machines, both claw machines were made by Fog. Thanks again, Fog. This is the second thing we've used of yours.
Mine will be the last.
I love your walls. Totally love the walls. The color, the gray, and then you got the stars with the red and yellow. And
Oh
then
yeah.
over here by the skee ball machines, again, I mean, it really shows off over here. You got the wood paneling, you got the gray, you got the stars, you got the blue neon right on the wall behind the skee ball machines with the wood. I love it. This looks totally. It looks like 70s repurposed.
Yeah, you think about arcades, it's like, what do they look like on the inside? They're usually like dark and dank and
Musky with the smell of
yeah,
sweat.
and it's like they all haven't been updated since the 80s.
Some of them are like got signs on it says out of order.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Real,
this is fantastic.
real quick, there's another arcade in here that I used on the opposite side of Dance Revolution. There was a more modern looking style arcade that was made by Ruckus 1094. I modified it or to like everything a little bit.
Awesome.
And I don't know if you're paused. If you're not paused, you'll see that it plays a video.
Yeah, it plays a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought about going back into my arcade machines and putting video on it instead, but I was like, nah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have a still that I could put in there, and video games when you're not playing them, they play themselves. So.
And this isn't even because I didn't download any videos or anything like that. So you are using.
I'm using one of the. What am I using?
One
the
of the
Planet
new,
Coaster.
Yeah, this is new out of the Studios pack, right? This
Yeah,
is new scene.
it's Space Exploration by Rudy Rinkamel. So
It's
Rudy
perfect.
doesn't need a shout out, but we're gonna give him one.
Yeah, and this is factory in game. If you got the Studios pack, that comes with it. So
Yeah,
Brilliant.
there's actually a bunch of creator videos that are on there. There's Pirate Battle, or Pirate Battle, M5. There's a video. There's a Rudy. This one, Games for Tom made a spooky tour, which I almost used, and then Pixel West made one, Temple
Spooky
Ruins.
Tour could be like a House of the Dead type.
That's what I had on there originally, but I liked space exploration.
I think it works. I like the space exploration too.
You
It
could
looks video
use
game-ish.
any one of them. You could use any one of them because the Temple one is also a cool, video game video. Any one of these could work. So.
All right, so I don't want to toot my own horn about my own arcades. So if you want to talk about my pinball machines and arcades, that's fine.
I'm just gonna say I was what you made them for one of the.
I made it for the Shy Guys World.
Yes.
Winter Showdown competition, I think it was. A few months back, I was making a park, and they're like, "Hey, you can do whatever you want. Here's an arcade. You do whatever you want with it." So there are tons and tons and tons of arcades and pinballs and stuff on the workshop, but none of them. I mean, a lot of them seem to be to scale and things like that, but none of them really felt right. And even mine aren't 100% correct, but I did what I could with what we had to work with in Plinko, so I did my own. But the pinball machines I'm most proud of those because I literally found the images, edited the images, stretched the images, put them in here, and a little throw out to classic days. There's a Roller Coaster Tycoon pinball machine that actually exists
there
in the
is.
real world, and I was like, oh, that's got to go in there. That has to. So. The pinball machines were the hardest ones to nail down to get the image. The arcades were a little easier. So it was a whole lot of fun making the arcades. I made the arcades while I was streaming, and everybody in chat was participating. Everybody was giving me great ideas for like machine stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot about that one. Yes, we got to have that one. And it was like, oh, do you guys remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade? And I was like, Sweet.
I
Yeah, we gotta
think
have that.
I think I suggested that one. I suggested Contra.
Yes, Contra. Oh, Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that. I'll tell you guys about that later. um, yeah, this is. I mean, yeah. Again, I don't want to toot my own horn about my arcade machines, but I personally think they're
They're
the best ones
awesome.
on the workshop.
And since you put them up, I was looking for more arcades or more things to put in the arcade. And other people, I don't know if they were using your ideas with the billboards or if they just came to it on their own or they weren't happy with what they were seeing on the workshop. But there was a few other ones that are starting to do things similar to what you did.
There were some that I saw, like I mean, the billboards wasn't my idea. Other people were using the billboards, but when you go to download it, you can't get the billboards. Like you get to click the link to Mediafire or wherever people are using to upload it to, and it's dead links, so you can't get the billboards. So I had to make all the billboards and stuff myself. So I was just like, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well just make the whole arcade. So that's how that came to be. And then you pointed out something to me that I find quite funny.
I know I was going to bring this up if it's what I think you're going to say.
Apparently, I built them all on the wrong side.
Every arcade is made in here for a southpaw.
You messaged me and he's like, "Hey, are you a southpaw by chance?" I was like, "Oh wait, yeah, I did do that, didn't I?" I put the joysticks on the wrong side of the machines, so
it's a minor oversight. We'll let it slide.
it's a Ned Flanders park.
Yeah, I forgot to drop that little Easter egg in the park. In the arcade.
All right,
I'll put it in there, or you could do it. That little Easter egg that
I'll try
Ned
my best
Flanders
to put
was
it
here.
All right, but yeah, the arcade turned out great. I love what you did with the interior. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, moving on down.
And we got a few more things that you guys haven't looked at yet.
The scissor, which I love all the string lights coming from the middle of it. It's awesome.
I'm looking at right in the center of it, though, right above the middle top. Did a little cone? I don't know. What would you call that?
I guess it's a cone. The Scrambler, which these rides are really called, at once again the Point Pleasant Boardwalk. It has above the top of the rotating part, there is, I guess you could call it a cone with lights on it, and it actually spins with the ride. Obviously, we can't make it spin with the ride, so it's stationary. And then maybe we can find a picture and put it up. Maybe you see it right now if we found one. But yeah, I tried to redo that. I know the one that you made for, I think, Crystal Gardens, you did something similar to what I did, but not exactly.
Yeah, I think this is better. I like the cone on top more than I did. I did like poles that stick out because I modeled mine after, I think, the one at Kings Island. I think this is, yeah, I like this. This is good. I love the colors on the cars too.
Yeah, I spent like a half hour recoloring this and trying to find colors that I'd like.
We all do.
Yep.
All right,
then,
so
I like this last thing. I like the queue. Smackdown. It's like, where are we gonna put the queue? I don't know. There. Put some fences.
It's exactly what it was.
yeah, I like that.
Cool.
That works.
So,
works
do we want to go to the backstage area and look at all your backstage stuff before we turn the lights off?
I'm surprised. The only thing before we turn the lights off. Speaking of lights, you guys haven't said anything about my custom lamps.
I was going to a long time ago, and we just kept looking and finding other stuff. But yeah, you took the globes and you put little tops on them, and have them hanging off with.
They're hanging with they're the ones that are in the building, where you can hang. That's what they are. They're not hung with anything because it's part of it.
Oh, gotcha. All right. And those are basic shapes around them, right?
Yeah, half circle.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And that pole I recognize as well. So
awesome.
and they're with the cable with the lights.
The string lights.
Yeah, that's another '80s thing. The string lights.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, gotta have it everywhere.
All right,
It's perfect. Everything about this is like, my build is coming up next, and I'm like, how am I going to even
Have fun.
remotely? All right, so I'm looking at the backs of these buildings. I do see some stuff here. I see trash bins.
Which buildings are you looking at?
I'm just kind of going
behind
down the lane
gold
right
bee
here.
on the right side.
I'm on the
So, yeah,
other
we got
side over
some-
here. I'm looking at the hot dog stand and bathrooms and stuff down on the back of those.
Mhm. Yep. Good backstage stuff. Bunch of clutter. It's always good. We do have to definitely add some fences behind the bathroom and stuff. But that's no big deal.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know what was going to be going on the other side here, so I didn't want to put anything and spend time,
Yeah, absolutely.
painting terrain, putting bushes down, and putting a path down if it was just going to get, ripped up anyway. So I just left it, and I figured if, maybe we have just a small backstage alley, if there's going to be other stuff on the other side, and then we can duplicate my gate and just throw my gate in, and then that would be it for this area,
Yeah.
But
Yep.
however you guys want to do it.
Oh, you've got a ramp from the Scorpion Boomerang going down into the backstage.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
The little scorpion backstage, and then you have the door leading. Oh yeah, this all like ties in. Oh yeah, maintenance building or utility building.
Yeah, remember I said we were going to duplicate that.
Yeah.
There's pallets, you got toolboxes, crates, shipping items.
Pigeons feeding off the trash back here.
Perfect. So lifelike, much wow.
And some of the buildings have ladders to get to the roof.
Yeah, I saw those.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah, I love how
Great,
the whole
great,
thing is
great,
just cohesive. It makes sense.
Let's go into nighttime.
Heck yeah.